This is Vanda Peaches, formerly known as Ascofinetia Peaches, and it is a primary hybrid between Vanda, former Ascocentrum, curvifolia, and Vanda, formerly known as Neophanetia falcata. All of this new taxonomy right now. Well, if you're looking for a small Vandaceous type orchid which is easy to grow, fits in most shelves, and it's spectacular, this is the orchid for you. It is also a very popular hybrid, I do notice. In my opinion, it is just as easy to grow as a Vanda, even less demanding when it comes to light, but it fits on shelves. And as you can see in this video, I do have mine potted. The mixture that I grow it in is an epiphytic mixture, but it can grow well in various other setups as long as it has aeration. You have down below a Vanda tutorial, so you can apply the same care tips, but as I was saying, I do find it even easier than Vandas. Contrary to the name, Vanda Peaches doesn't necessarily have peach-colored blooms, although some varieties can. Mine is more of a coral color, and if you Google this orchid, you will see that there is quite a degree of variation in colors. Certainly, many people do have this nice coral type of peaches, which I believe looks a lot more striking than the peach variety. The flowers are quite tiny and they do remind of Neophanetia flowers. They are displayed on a flower spike in a cluster, and each flower spike can have quite a lot of flowers. They seem to be quite long-lasting, and my first flower spike is already in bloom for a month or a month and a half, and it's still going strong. But I do notice that as they age, the flowers tend to lose color. So in about a couple of weeks, the oldest flowers tend to become a lighter pink rather than that deep coral color. This orchid is oh so fragrant. It smells during the daytime and it has a nice fruity, citrusy scent. It is slightly sweet as well. It's a combination, if you will. And if you've ever had a Neophanetia in bloom, I do believe it resembles that fragrance. Although I have to say, I find this orchid much easier to bloom than Neophanetias. It certainly doesn't need a big temperature difference between winter and summer, and I do believe that's a trait from the Ascocentrum parent. But to wrap up with the fragrance, it is quite mild. I don't think it can perfume a room. Actually, I'm sure it cannot, but you can definitely detect it if you smell the flower directly. So I don't think you'll have issues if generally you do have issues with fragrances. In all of my orchid collection, I consider the color to be unique. I honestly do not have any other orchid that has this color. And under the Barina grow lights, it looks even more intense. Although naturally the coloration is quite intense and is very striking, it definitely stands out. So I would definitely consider this orchid if you do well with Cattleyas, let's say. I think you will do well with this one as well. Definitely requires more light than Phalaenopsis orchids, but it doesn't have to be natural light. I'm growing mine strictly under grow lights and it's doing great. It blooms once a year, but has a slow growth, so I don't think you're gonna run out of space anytime soon, and it is more prone to producing offshoots rather than growing tall. If you know Neophanetias, you know they don't tend to grow tall. This one is pretty much the same. It would rather expand on a horizontal rather than a vertical. All in all, it is a wonderful orchid. I believe it fits in many shelves, on many windowsills. If you have bright light, Cattleya type light, or grow lights or artificial light, I think it will do great for you. And not only are the flowers beautiful, but I think the whole plant is very decorative. It has that Neophanetia vibe to it, which by default is a decorative plant in my opinion. So definitely I would go for it if you ever see it for sale. As I was saying, I feel like it's a popular hybrid and it does have my stamp of approval. I love this orchid. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this spotlight and I'll see you all next time. Bye!